morning dear students. Today we will revise chapter friction. About friction we have studied in earlier classes. So today we will revise the chapter. The name of the chapter is friction. Friction is a force which opposes the motion of an object. If the object is moving, the object stops after some time. When we slide a ball on the ground, after some distance or after covering some distance, the ball stops. Why the ball stops? That is due to the friction. So friction is a force which opposes the motion of an object. That force is known as friction. How will you measure the force? We all know about spring balance. When we hang the spring balance at some height and when we tie any weight here, then it can measure the force. It measures the weight of the object, and we know that weight is also a force. So by this also we can calculate friction. Next I will tell how we can calculate the friction. So friction is a force which opposes the motion of an object. How frictional force is exerted? How the object stops when it is moving? So frictional force is exerting by the interlocking of irregularities present on the surface. Suppose this is the surface of the ground. It will have some irregularities on it. When we slide a ball on it, ball will also have some irregularities on its surface. Due to the interlocking of these irregularities, the frictional force is exerted. When the irregularities are interlocked with each other, then the object stops after some time, or it reduces the speed of the moving object. So frictional force is exerted by the interlocking of the irregularities which are present on the surfaces, and frictional force is exerted only when two objects are in contact with each other. Either they will slide on each other or either they will roll in each other. So we will discuss sliding and rolling friction. Sliding friction, rolling friction. Sliding friction, the force of friction exerted on the object when one object slides on another object, then the frictional force is known as sliding friction. When one object slides on another object, at that time the force which opposes the motion, that force is known as sliding friction. And when an object rolls on another object, at that time also a force which opposes the motion, that force is known as rolling friction. So a ball rolls on the ground. If we take a rectangular or cuboid box, it will slide on the ground. So the force, frictional force exerting on the cuboidal box, that will be sliding, and the force or frictional force which is exerting on the ball, that is known as rolling friction. If the objects slides on each other, then the friction is known as sliding. And if the object rolls on each other, then the friction is known as rolling friction. Mainly we have three types of friction. We have three types of frictional force: static friction, limiting friction, dynamic friction. Static friction, when two objects are placed on each other and they are not sliding on each other, or which do not allow the object to slide, that force is known as static friction. A force which do not allow the object to slide or roll on another object, that force is known as static friction. Suppose this is the surface, here a box is kept. If this box is not sliding, then the frictional force is known as static friction. The second one is limiting friction. When we push it or when we pull that box, it requires a lot of force before start. When it starts sliding, before starting, it will require a lot of force. That force is known as limiting force. So a force or frictional force exerted on the object just before the object starts sliding, that force is known as limiting friction. Dynamic friction, same as static friction. When the object slides on another object, the frictional force is known as dynamic friction. So we have a graph which tells us about static, limiting and dynamic. frictional force. First the graph will be a straight inclined line, then it will raise a little bit, and then it will be a line parallel to x-axis. This is frictional force and this is applied force. On x-axis we have applied force and on y-axis we have frictional force. This graph from A to B we have static friction. This will give us the magnitude of limiting friction. Here we can write this is the magnitude of limiting friction. And this is the magnitude of dynamic friction. This is the graph which tells us about static friction, dynamic friction and limiting friction. From graph we can conclude that limiting friction is maximum, dynamic is less than limiting friction and static is also less than limiting friction. So limiting friction is the maximum friction which is required just to start an object. When the object start moving, at that time the friction is known as dynamic friction, and when the object kept on another object, then the friction is known as static friction, and when it start moving, before that the friction is known as limiting friction. Factors on which the limiting friction depend. We have discussed about static, limiting and dynamic. Static, when the object kept on another object, when it do not slide, then the friction is known as static friction. Limiting friction, when the object is just starting before sliding, that friction is known as a limiting friction. And dynamic friction, a frictional force which is exerted when the object slides on another object, then the friction is known as dynamic friction. Now we will discuss about the conditions on which the limiting friction depends. Limiting friction always opposes the motion of an object, because when the limiting force is exerted, at that time the object is in rest. So limiting friction always opposes the motion of an object. Limiting force depends on the weight of the object. If we take a lighter object, it can easily start moving. If we take a heavier object, suppose this is 50 kg and this one is of 10 kg, then A will easily move and B require a lot of force to move. So limiting friction depends on the mass, and limiting friction is independent of the area, contact area. It will not depend on the area of contact. Limiting friction always opposes the motion of an object. Limiting friction depends on the weight of the object. Limiting friction do not depend on the area of contact. Before we have discussed that frictional force depends on the area of contact. If the area of contact will be more, then frictional force will be more. If area of contact will be less, then frictional force will be less. But frictional force is, limiting frictional force is independent of independent of area of contact. Now we will discuss about rolling friction. A frictional force which is exerted when an object rolls on any surface, then the frictional force is known as rolling friction. Suppose when we slide a ball on the ground, then the ball rolls on the ground, so in that case we will consider rolling friction. Rolling friction is always less than sliding friction. I will tell an example related to this. Suppose if we have a heavy rectangular box, if we push it, it will not move. But suppose this is a heavy box, this is ground. If we push it, then it will not move. If the object is of 100 kg. But if we kept some rectangular balls or wooden blocks at the bottom of the weight, then if we will push, then the object will move. The object is of same weight, then what is the reason that in this case the frictional force is less and in this case the frictional force is more? Sliding is more, rolling is less. Because in rolling the area of contact is less. At a time a small amount of area comes in contact with the ground, so there will be a small interlocking of irregularities. But in sliding, a large amount or a large area comes in contact with the ground, so a large number of irregularities interlock with each other. So sliding friction is more than rolling friction. I told you why the rolling is less than sliding, or why sliding is more than rolling. Because in sliding, area of contact will be high, and in rolling the area of contact will be less. Now we will discuss about the fluid friction. What is fluid friction? The friction exerted by the fluids known as fluid friction. The friction exerted by the fluids known as fluid friction. Now what is fluid? The things which can flow, those are known as fluids, like air, water. Air and water can flow, so they are known as fluid. So the friction which is applied by the fluids known as fluid friction. Now we will discuss some example related to fluid friction. The aeroplane is in streamline shape. From the front, the shape is like V shape. Why the aeroplane have streamline shape? Similarly, fishes have streamline shape. V shape is known as streamline shape, which is narrow from the top and broader from the bottom. That shape is known as streamline shape. Fishes have streamline shape, vehicles have streamline shape, aeroplane have streamline shape. At the bottom of the ship, we have this shape. This is also streamline shape. Why these all things have streamline shape? Because suppose if the shape is like this, if the shape is broader from the front, then maximum of the air and water strike on it and do not allow the things to move easily. If the object is wider from the front, then maximum air and water strike on it and do not allow the object to move, or the object cannot move easily. But it is like V shape. In this shape, if the object is, then air strike on it, some of the air passes in this direction and some of the air passes in this direction. Same in water. If water strike on it, some of the water passes in this direction and some of the water passes in this direction. So these all are due to for reducing friction. Mainly streamline shape reduce friction, so these things have streamline shape to reduce friction. Fluid friction, the friction exerted by the fluids known as fluid friction. Fluids, the things which can flow known as fluids like air and water. Why the things have streamline shape? The things have streamline shape to reduce fluid friction, because the air and water can pass in this direction and in this direction, so the object can easily move. So they have streamline shape. Similarly, when we swim, we push the water backward. Why we push the water backward? To move forward. We push the water backward. When we push the things in backward, then we will move forward. Similarly, some of water is goes in this direction and some goes in this direction. So the things or object can easily swim and they can easily move. So streamline shape reduce fluid friction. Now we will discuss about the effects of force. What are the effects of force? So we have three effects of force. First, it opposes motion. It opposes motion. Second, when frictional force is exerted on an object, they will rub against each other, and when they will rub against each other, they will produce heat energy. So second, it will produce heat. And that heat is of no use. Energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. When we rub, the mechanical or potential energy will convert it into the heat energy, and that heat energy of no use, because that is totally wastage of energy. Third, wear and tear. Wear and tear means by the continuous use of the things, the parts reduce. The best example is the sole of our shoes. When we bring or when we bought the new shoes, they have thick sole, but when we continuously use them, by the frictional force, their sole reduces, size of their sole reduces. So wear and tear takes place, and due to the frictional force, the parts of the machinery, the size of the parts of machinery is reduced. This can increase the chance of accident. The machine can stop working and it can increase the chance of accident. Now we will discuss about the advantage and disadvantage of friction. What are the advantages of friction? Advantages of friction. Friction helps us in walking. Without frictional force, we cannot walk. First thing. Second, I'm writing on board, that is also due to the frictional force. Without frictional force, we cannot write on board. If you want to hang a nail on the walls, then without help of friction, it will not be there. If you are moving anything, then the object will not move without frictional force. So these are the advantages of frictional force. It helps us in walking. The main advantage is it helps us in walking. Without frictional force, we cannot walk. Because when we try to move, we will slide off and we will fall down. So frictional help us in walking. It helps in writing, in hanging the nails in the walls, or by stucking the nails in wall. It helps in writing, walking. These are the examples, or these are the advantages of frictional force. Now disadvantages. We have discussed about effects. It will reduce the size of the things. So it will increase the chance of accident. Because there will be any accident if the parts of the machines reduce. Size of the parts of the machines reduce, then there will be any mishappening. Second, wear and tear we have discussed, it produces heat energy. That energy is totally loss of energy. Because the energy which is produced by the frictional force, that energy is of no use. When we apply brakes, due to the applying of brakes, heat energy produced, that energy is totally wastage of energy. Because we are not using that energy anywhere. So these are the some advantages and disadvantages of friction. Now we have how we can increase the friction and how we can decrease the friction. So there is a simple concept. By making the surface rough, we can increase friction, and by making the surface smooth, we can decrease friction. Now it depends on you that how can you increase or how can you make the surface rough, or how can you make the surface smooth. So there are some ways by which we can increase friction. The main answer, if the question is how can you increase the frictional force. So we can increase the frictional force by making the surface rough. Now it depends on us that how can we make the surface rough. If we will use sand on a smooth surface, then it will become rough. If we will use charcoal powder or anything which is rough, stones, concrete, then we can make the surface rough. By giving some particular shape, we can increase friction. If you see the tires have some designs on it. Why these designs are made of tires? Because these increase the frictional force. If they increase frictional force, then the vehicle can easily stop. How can you reduce the frictional force? By making the surface smooth, we can reduce frictional force. Now the question is, how can you make the surface smooth? We all are playing carom. When we are playing carom, we use powder on the carom board. Why we use powder? To make the surface smooth, so the striker can easily move. Second, by using oil, we can make the surface smooth. By using soap solution or soap water, we can make the surface smooth. By using grease, we can make the surface smooth. So these are some ways by which we can increase or decrease the friction. We can increase also and we can decrease also. But the main concept is how can we increase or how can we decrease. So the answer is we can increase the friction by making surface rough, and we can decrease the friction by making surface smooth. So these are the ways we have different ways by which we can make the surface smooth and rough.